Everyone and their dog is chasing the usual suspects, right? So that's your AP Royal Oak, your Patek Philippe Nautilus, and of course the Rolex Daytona. And yes, they're still a good indicator of the watch market and where it stands. I agree to that. And the reason why I say usually these watches is because I also do believe there is a fundamental shift in collector preference. Now, maybe that's a topic for another video. Once I cement my belief a little bit more, I'll share it and we'll keep that in mind. All right, however, for today, I do want to talk through two watches. One of them was and still is a dog. And of course, I wouldn't blame you for rolling your eyes just yet when I mention AP. My history is well known with the local and international watch communities, and I still stand by what I said. I still think the brand is poorly managed today, and that is causing them basically to lose a lot of people. I think they moved away from the DNA and they're doing a lot of weird things, and that's just not the right attribute for them, in my opinion, right? So maybe you have a different opinion, I respect that, but that's at least my experience, and I used to be a big AP fan. However, the current secondary market for this one specific piece makes it a great deal, and we'll come to that. The second one, we've always appreciated Lange as a brand, but rarely geared up to buy one because the price was very, very high. It's still high, but it's a lot better than what it used to be. You're no longer paying 2 times, 3 times, 4 times of the retail price to get an Odysseus. That's not the case. This one is just a hair over retail. So let's talk about these two pieces in specific, the AP Code 1159 and the LangeOdysseus Odysseus in steel. Both are mine, both picked from the secondary market some time ago, actually, when the price was higher. Just never spoke about them. I do not regret them, and maybe now is a good time to consider them if you are looking outside of Rolex and the Nautilus and the Daytona. Whatever it is, you know how I roll, let's just get it. When LangeOdysseus dropped the Odysseus in stainless steel, people lost their minds. Some labeled it the ugliest watch in the world. That's written. These are publications that had put that out. And some thought it wasn't real. They thought it was fake just because, God forbid, Lange put it on a steel bracelet. How could a leather strap brand put a watch on a steel bracelet, right? That's why some people also thought it's not real. They thought it was a joke. But guess what? It's still here. Retail back then was $41,200. That jumped to $56,000 in 2022, with the aftermarket prices hitting $109,000. Can you believe that? This is my personal piece, bought along with the code in 2022, bought for a much higher price, as I said. Today, this Odysseus is trading just slightly above retail. When I say slightly, I'm talking about just a hair over the retail price. And they're actually available. I've seen 4 so far. They've just been popping up in the market, but all 4 were specifically with one dealer in UAE. You guys know LuxurySohne very well. And in that reference, there are 4 aftermarket dealers that I buy from. That's LuxurySohne locally here, Pride and Pinion. You guys know Pride and Pinion very well. Mark Gaybauer. And if I want to go the vintage route, I would always not consider anything outside of Amsterdam Vintage Watches. I link all of their links and websites in the description so you guys can find them. So $60,000 is what I've seen for a brand new piece. This is exactly what it is at LuxurySohne. I don't know if they have a used one for slightly less. I'm not really sure, but the ones I'm talking about are brand spanking new. And that makes sense because you're basically paying slightly more, just a little bit more, a hair more, and you eliminate the wait time, the approval process, and you get it when you want to get it. And the condition I'm speaking of is brand new, as in never worn. And of course, the punching bag of the watch world, the Code 1159. People made memes about that. They queued outside boutiques just to make fun of it and bash it the day it came out. And that is all true. It was a dog, as I said, and still is. AP quietly released this steel variant, I think end of 2022, 2023 is when they pushed it out. They did tremendous effort basically to make sure it's visible and to kind of get you lured into, hey, this is what you need to consider. So from marketing efforts, celebrity endorsement, and salespeople just promising you a steel Royal Oak, the basic one, if you are to buy a code first. At its previous price point, it still remained to be a joke to many because it was just like, what are you putting all this fortune for, right? Up until now, you're talking about $19,000 for the stainless steel variant. That makes it an interesting proposition, right? You're getting an AP finishing. Flawless movement because it's not a chronograph. I would not consider a chronograph from AP. that you can appreciate through an open case back and maybe even the case structure to some, right? So my preference is not a big fan of the domed sapphire. It's there if you look for it, case curves, but then the sapphire also is a little bit slightly domed. To me personally, I don't like it. Others may consider it. And AP never speaks of this, by the way, on the spec sheet. So if you look at the AP website or any spec sheet you find online, PDF, whatever, they will never mention this domed sapphire, but it's there. I don't like it. It might speak to some. At this price point, $19,000 for a brand new piece, barely worn, basically. It still has its plastic, not this specific one because this is mine, but I'm referring to the ones that I've seen in the aftermarket. You're getting them without paying that Royal Oak tax because you want this watch, because you actually like it, it's to your liking, but you don't want to pay its retail price. You're technically paying a hybrid price between a Rolex GMT in stainless steel and an 11600 Hélène, for instance, which is the previous generation of the steel Daytonas. Like if I have $19,000 and I'm asked to buy one watch that is not a Rolex, would I consider this AP? I would, yeah. This specific code 1159 in stainless steel without the chronograph, possibly, yeah. It makes sense. It makes it an interesting consideration, I would say. Now, from a market context, trying to get a Lange straight from a boutique, as you know, even today, they'll probably laugh at you politely and tell you to come back once you've done $50,000, $60,000, perhaps on something like a Saxonia that I absolutely don't mind. I don't know why this is a prerequisite to actually get an Odysseus or any sought after sport Lange. There's just only the Odysseus, right? For me, the Saxonia is its own thing, and I actually appreciate it. So it should have never been put like that because you're devaluing what the Saxonias is, which I also think, by the way, are a good pick from the aftermarket. So I'll link another video that I've done last year around the Saxonias, two specific Saxonias. And the other issue as well with Lange is when you make that spend, and I'm speaking from experience because I have bought the Lange one at retail. At first, I was hit with, we need to get management approval on your allocation. By the time I got the management approval, Lange told me the Odysseus in stainless steel was discontinued. And by the way, the word discontinued, the term discontinued under the Richemont group does not mean they stopped making it for good. It just means it's a pause for now. And that was evident when I ordered and received my order for the Vacheron 56 in stainless steel with the stainless steel bracelet. It's a Cartier-based movement, yes, but they stopped it and they brought it back again, and Lange does the same thing, right? So when they say discontinued, that doesn't mean they're not gonna make it again. The same exact watch, same movement, same everything, no iteration. It just means they paused it for now. So always ask the question when they say discontinued, like, so is this actually coming back? Are there thoughts around it, or is it completely removed? So you keep going in circles, and by that time, the retail price is also increasing. So it's just a case of weighing out, does it make more sense to get it from the aftermarket, or you just want to get this at retail and it's not even the one you want? So I asked for the steel Odysseus and I was offered the white gold Odysseus instead, and that's not what I asked for. And again, this is why I allude to the secondary market sometimes, you know, is the go-to for some specific pieces that you can achieve for less than their retail price or just above retail price, but then the wait is long and approvals and potential discontinuation and I don't know what else, and life could change for you, right? So like, I don't know why ADs assume that, you know, you ordered this watch 10 years later, I'm gonna call you up, I expect you to pick up the phone and I expect you to have the budget for that watch. The new budget, that is, because the price would have increased. That doesn't make sense, right? The watch market right now, in my opinion, is a weird mix of hype collapse and actual opportunities, right? So if you are looking at watch brands with the 2019 lens, you'll definitely miss out. Although these two pieces were also very hyped, I think both the Lange and the AP, the specific steel variant without the chronograph, are actually sitting in the right place. And the market agrees, basically, with this being the values for them because they've been hovering around these prices for some time now. So is it the AP code 1159 in stainless steel, this specific variant, or the Odysseus, LangeSohne Odysseus in stainless steel? Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to go through them. And if you don't like them at all, or you think what I'm saying is absolutely upside down, do let me know that as well. I'm also curious to see how many of you are brave enough to pop the question about availability and pricing, if that's something you want to consider. So there is Shahid, the manager at Luxury Souk. I will link his contact details in the description down below. I think they still have a few some pieces. So just ask the question if you're considering any of these two pieces that I talked about in my video here. And do let me know how it goes. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.